Okay, so in this week's video, I've really got to touch on the subject of keeping a tang in such a small tank, and specifically this tang, my regal tang. Her name is Penny, and I've had her since she's the size of a penny, hence her name. I got loads of messages from the last video, different comments saying when you're rehoming that fish, it's getting too big for that tank. And I thought I've got to do a whole video really just to sort of explain to sort of all you beginners out there and advanced guys as well that what the score is with keeping these tangs. Now, I've been keeping these regal tangs, as I call them, as an old school reefer. Some people go by the name of blue tang, Pacific blue tang, but yeah, regal tangs, one of my favourite fish. Now, I've been keeping these for probably the best part of 25 odd years. So first of all, I've got a very good understanding of these fish's needs, which is always important. You should never buy marine fish not knowing what its needs are going to be and what size they're going to get to. Now, the plan for this fish in this tank was never to keep it in this tank for its whole life. I thought we'd buy a tiny one, and when it gets to sort of like 4 or 5 inches or starts showing signs of stress and pacing the tank or whatnot, we would rehome it. So I've had her for around a year now, just over a year actually, and say she was the size of a penny, one penny. Tiny, probably about as small as you can buy them really. And so this fish now at sort of 5, she's about 5.5 inches, maybe 6 tops. She's going very, very quickly, and that's down to the diet really. They will grow quick if you feed them the right diet. The diet is very, very important for these fish. You've got to understand that they do need, their main diet is algae. So the diet of this fish is predominantly, well, she'll eat anything that goes in the tank, literally anything, but her main staple diet is New Life Spectrum pellets, and that provides her with a good staple. There's 4 different types of macroalgae in them pellets, and it's been responsible for her super good health and her growth rate. Now, when she went in, obviously she went in the size of a penny. So in this size tank, it's a 280 litre system total water volume with the sump, but the tank is only 3 foot in length. But it's quite a deep tank. So for that size fish, fine. It's when it gets, when these tanks get to this sort of size, you need to sort of be able to identify whether there's going to be an issue going forward. Now, obviously, in an ideal world, none of these fish should be kept in an aquarium really. That they travel for miles in the sea, and that's their natural environment, that which they travel in shoals, and any tank really, unless it's smaller than sort of 10,000 litres, is not ideal. And obviously the smaller you go, the risks are higher for that fish to be stressed. The first thing to sort of touch on is tank size. This is not a big tank, but this regal penny, she went in from tiny, so she's known no different than this size tank. She's never displayed behaviour of stress at all, always been really happy, and fine. It's just that now she could do with, she went to a much larger system, yet she'd reap the benefits of being able to swim, for stretch her legs, should I say. So, when it comes to purchasing one, if you buy one like this size and expect to put it in this size tank, you're going to get, I say you're going to get, it all depends really on the fish. These fish's personalities can be very, very different from one fish to another, but you don't want to be putting a fish that's already large or from a larger system into a smaller system, because that is going to stress them out. But if you buy them tiny in the mindset that you're going to have to rehome them once they get larger, if not so for biological reasons, the bioload on the system say they need to be fed loads. So you get obviously the byproduct, lots of waste in a small system, especially if it's a coral tank with SPS corals. Your nutrients are going to go through the roof unless you're right on top of them. So yeah, you know, you can put them in small tanks. I say this is probably about the smallest tank I would put a Tang in, but you know, people are going to do what they're going to do. You know, I've seen regal Tangs in 100-litre tanks, but you know, that's definitely not going to be ideal after about a year or so. They're going to have to come out, well, even sooner than that, to be honest. If they're fed right, they're growing quickly. So yeah, it's a sticky situation. Well, I say sticky situation. It's a sticky subject. This really. There's the so-called Tang police, but you know, no Tang should be going into aquariums really. You know, their natural environment is to travel and to swim loads. So, you know, you just got to provide the best home you can for them. Like I say, people are going to do what they're going to do, but I would not advise to be putting any sort of Tang into a tank that's less than 200 litres really, unless it's like the sort of dwarf species Tangs, which can live in, you know, up to sort of 200 litres. No problem. But again, it's all just down to really knowing what you're doing and having experience with these fish and knowing their behavioural signs that it's, you know, time to sort of act upon and do something about it. But anyway, the plans for this fish, if you follow the channel, you'll know that the plans are I am changing tanks. We're going to do a new system build ready for the new year. So I'm currently trying to catch this regal Tang and the copper band actually to rehome them. I have got a good home for them already sorted. I've put a fish trap in, but a week now, and Penny is very, very smart. She won't go anywhere near it. The copper band's been in, so that wouldn't be a problem catching, but yeah, Penny is too wise for that. She won't go anywhere near it. So I've aborted that, and what we're going to do is when we tear the system down, we're just going to get them out then, and got a brilliant home actually for Penny and the copper band of my LFS. Penny's got a massive great coral tray she's going into. It's like 2,000 odd litres plus. I think it's about 8-9 foot long, so she's gonna that'll be her forever home. So I'm really lucky to have that opportunity to still see her grow up to you know, fully sized regal, which, you know, potentially could be sort of like, I don't know, 20 odd centimetres they get to. Yeah, it'd be nice to see that. But that's all in plans at the moment, between now and Christmas, to get these fish out of here. So there's no emergency for it. She's as happy as Larry. As you can see her on screen now, this is like a bit of footage I've taken. I've put some food in, that's why she's darting around, but so she's really, really calm, gets on with all the other fish. She's definitely the boss in the tank, but you know, as for stress wise, she's not stressed at all. She's never had white spot. And yeah, so she's happy. She's been a great fish. I wish I could keep her really, but yeah, she needs to go to that new home as the opportunity's there for a huge tank. Yeah, so that'll be really interesting. Obviously I'll show you that on the channel, the process of that and her going into her new home. So that's really my 2 pennies worth really on keeping Tangs, specifically the regal Tang or Pacific blue Tang. Awesome fish. It's probably one of my favourite, bar the powder blue Tang, one of my favourite Tangs. So I've had many over the years. It's probably, I think it's the second or third marine fish I had like 25 odd years ago, and I've been keeping them ever since. Yeah, so I was going to leave you with a little bit of footage now of the tank. Next video coming up, I shall let you know what's been going on with the upgrade. If you've not already subscribed, obviously hit that subscribe and that notification bell. Hit a like, that really helps me out. And I'll catch you in the next one.